hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time with Liz and Friends. We are here for another great episode tonight. It is Monday, and your girl is feeling it. Okay. What is up, my friends? How are you this Monday? Huh?
Whew.
Monday
I
is
can
Monday.
barely talk. I'm exhausted, but I'm feeling good because it is tea time, right? Uh,
Fact.
but other than that, I'm in grand opening. It was a hit.
Yeah.
Just exhausted for the oh my goodness. Wonderful. I had a great weekend, but Monday hit me hard because I'm exhausted.
Okay. Listen, for real. And shout out to all of our Wisconsin viewers. I just want to say I love you all. If I got to meet you over the weekend, you just did my heart so well. We are so excited that we are able to connect with you and you are able to connect with us. So definitely, if you are viewing Tea Time with Liz, let us know that you are here and watching and just say hi. You ain't got to say much, but just say hi. So we know that you are in our presence. But we just
Yes.
want to say a special love shout out to our Wisconsin viewers. As I was with Kwana at the grand opening, shout out to Appleton Pentecostal Church on their new church. And it is a beautiful facility. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Joe, what you got going on? How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I spent time with family. Well,
Ooh.
long overdue, but it was great and relaxing. I am recharged and feel great to be back with you, ladies. I have missed you guys. I've missed the tea time
No.
audience. I saw pictures of the opening and I was so excited. The building looks beautiful. So
It
Thank you,
is. It's
guys.
amazing.
congratulations.
It's so mind blowing. And
Congratulations.
special shout out to our friend Kat who tore up the word of God, y'all. Listen, stay tuned. I'm gonna share a clip, all right? So y'all know what we heard, okay? Because the girl, you think tea time, she dropped a little something, but
Mm,
mighty father, it was life changing. So
mm.
definitely we love you, Kat. And
I
yes,
love
Joe,
you
we were
guys.
missing out. So but we're here tonight, so let's get into it. Kat, what's our announcements for the people tonight?
Well, the next ones, I'm definitely going to always say, please follow us on all our social media platforms, right? There is, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and not only that, you can also follow us on the YouTube channel,
Oh,
Tea Time with Liz and Friends. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love you guys. Follow, follow, follow is what I would definitely say. I would just definitely want to say, again, as a reminder, we are our pop up did get canceled, but the good there is good news behind that because there is going to be a pop up coming soon, very soon, sooner than you think. Okay, so just wait. We will have that announcement coming probably in a couple of weeks or so. Um, so hold on to your chairs because it is going to get grimy, right?
Not
get
grimy.
your get your tea together, girl.
You're gonna
Okay,
get grimy though.
No, it's not
not
gonna get
grimy.
grimy.
We don't want you
No,
grimy. We
grimy.
don't
I
want
know.
you
But
Grimy.
no, you're gonna have again. Our tea time is we're gonna have some lemon, some honey, all type of
grimy.
good sweeteners to
Nice.
mix in that tea. We may have a little cream for you. So
Uh
I'm
oh.
just
Uh oh.
saying, you definitely want to be there. And again, it's going to be coming soon. Give us a couple of weeks. We will let you know what's happening. Um, Next Monday, not next Monday, but June 17th, we will have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who that is yet, but we will have a special guest. And it's all about identifying yourself. And I believe, oh, one more thing I have to announce. If you
Okay.
would like to support Tea Time with Liz and Friends, you can definitely support us. There, as you can see going across our screen, there is our donate information. Cash App, $ Tea Time with Liz and Friends. Please support if you choose to. We love support because we support everyone, right? So,
Back.
Amen.
all right, then let's get into it. What do we got next coming up?
All
What's
right,
going
Joe.
on?
What's going on tonight?
All right, so the month of June is the month that we basically celebrate the fellas. So it's the title of Goodfellas. That's our theme for the month
Fellas.
of June.
Yes.
Goodfellas. How y'all doing out there? Um, so today's topic today's topic is called Daddy's Girls, because we are ladies and we are also daddy's girls. Now,
Okay.
if you have been following us and watching us and been up to date on us three ladies, the tea time ladies, you have probably heard that we have three different dynamics going on. So Liz was raised in a two-parent household, both mom and dad. Me myself, I was raised in a single parent mother only. Father passed before I was even born. And Kat, I'm gonna let you explain your household.
I had the best of both worlds. I had a single mother raise me, and then my father came in. So it was basically had both worlds, right? My
Okay.
dad was there, and when he wasn't, it was all by my mom. So, hey, the best of both worlds, I would
There
say.
you go. Best of both worlds. Come on.
There we go. There we go. So, I think I'm gonna start off today's question, ladies. Since both of you were able to interact with your dads, would you send your kids to your father for fatherly love and advice?
Kawana, what you want to start? You
Come
want
on,
to
Kat.
start?
I can definitely start that one. Let me see. Yes and no. Right? And I'm going to definitely say yes to some advice. My dad can give really good advice on things, and I like how he put a spin on it sometimes when he make it about him, right? And then he'll turn it around and say, but you can choose for yourself.
Mm,
And I love that about him.
That's
He'll
good.
give his point of view, but then he'll say, but you have to make that decision on your own. So I really, really like that about him. And for the fatherly love, I don't know, my dad wasn't such like a hugger. He was more like a gift. His love language was more like a gift. So
Explain that. What is that? What do you mean by that?
he liked to buy you things.
Okay.
She said no other way. What?
Okay.
Like, I can remember a time when I think I was mad at him about something. And I was a freshman in high school, and I'll never forget. He took me to the store. And he was like, "Which coat you want?" I was like, "I want that one." Okay.
Coach, like Coach Purse, or
no, the Wilson Leather store. Remember the Wilson Leather store?
Oh, yeah. Come on, Wilson Leather.
Okay. And, it was a suede coat with the white fur around it, and I had the matching gloves with it. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right?
He was out here.
Sometimes that's how he showed his love. My father is a very loving father, very supportive, very old-fashioned though, right?
Okay.
But he will always go out his way to make sure his kids had all the things that they need as far as material things and things like that. And that's the way he spent his time with me. And so, yeah. So yes and no with both of those, because sometimes his advice is good and sometimes
okay, before we get to my side, just describe your dad's character so we know, even though he's these things to you, what is his character like, because we want to know what was he like? What's he like?
He's laid back.
Okay.
He's very I would like to say he think he's smooth.
Come on, smooth operator.
Exactly. He think he's laid back. He think he's real smooth. He's very funny.
Okay.
And what I would say, he can be he's smart. He's smart.
Intelligent. Come on.
And he gets when he say what he means, what he say and says what he means. So he's really kind of laid back, relaxed. He's you got it to love him is to know him. That's what I would say.
Aw.
To love him.
So can I ask you a question? And I'm not trying to get too into your business, your family business, but yeah. Okay, so you have brothers. You have brothers. Do you share the same dad with your brothers?
Mhm.
Okay, so was the gifting the same kind of love? That's the way that he showed the same, or was it just a father-daughter thing?
I don't know. So let me say why I don't know. Because my brothers are older than me. So I'm
Okay.
the baby. So it's a nice gap. So
Okay.
it's like a 8 year, 7 to 8 year gap in between.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I didn't get a chance to see all that, but I believe so because the my dad did everything with them. They were, they were always together. They always he bought they had a dog when they were younger. They had like my dad made sure they had like the basement in our house was like a little skate ring area. They always like did fun things together. My dad was like
Wow.
this really fun person when they were young. I got the part of my dad when he was a little older, right? And it was just me and my younger sister. So yeah.
Got it.
So that's
Okay.
why I say I got the best of both worlds.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, here we go. Bishop Clark, here we go. I don't know if he's talking tonight,
The
but
bishop do. The bishop do. What's the
um, okay. So let me start by describing Bishop Clark. Okay, aka Sylvester. Some knew him as Sly back in the day. As Sister Aries would put it, I was the bastard child, to be honest. I was one of the children that was born out of wedlock before my parents got together. And so I
Did she
started the
say
Clark
that? She
family.
said
I
that.
Oh,
started
Mama
the Clark
Aries,
family.
love her to death.
But so yes, like I said, I started the Clark clan, but I also have an older half brother above me. We share the same father, and then I have three siblings underneath me. So
Your sister.
um, and so my father was very he grew up in a home where there was no tolerance for not handling your responsibilities. So he was very hands-on and very much a father. And I think though every father is not really in tune with his emotions. Now my dad is from the south side of Chicago, where they are rough and tough. And I did not see it. I think I see my dad cry maybe once or twice in my life. That was when my grandfather passed away, and if the Holy Ghost hit him. That was probably about it, right? So to be honest, like I didn't think men had emotions for a long time.
Oh, wow.
um, so he was very not too emotional type of a person, but very strict as well. There was no worldly music being played up in the house. There was none of that stuff. He definitely lived the life of a minister slash pastor now and so forth. So, but he does have a caring heart. He will give. I definitely learned my giving from both of my parents. They will give until they don't have anything else to give. So, um, he definitely was very heartwarming and kind if anybody was ever in need. He would always open the doors for those who needed a place to stay and all that. So definitely like I said, admire him as a man of God and as my father. Now, when it comes to if I would send my son to him, he loves his grandson. So, and I see he's different as a grandfather. He's not as strict, he's not as stern. He's very laid back. He's very give you whatever you want, and has a little bit more patience. With me and my sisters, he was not patient.
So wait. So how does that make you feel? You know, like he's a little more giving. Do you get a little jealous, Liz?
I mean, no, I don't get jealous, because I definitely admire my father, being a single mom, um, with a son. And when I was living in South Dakota, he was there, to be somewhat that male figure my son could see every day. Um,
Okay.
because when I would have to work two jobs or something, he was the one that would pick him up from daycare or school, and they would hang out. So I would have to fuss at the both of them like I was the parent. Um, so I guess in a sense, I've already done that. I've already shared my son with my father, to show him that love, to show him that advice, and they are like the best of friends. I remember my son ratted on me for disciplining him, and told my dad. I was like, "Wait, how does this work? This ain't how it works." But so, yeah, that is the type of father I had. So, yes,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. Oh, where are we at, child?
Yeah, y'all just like
It's on.
nice.
So, are there strengths in your dad you look for in a man?
I love
And-
Bishop.
wait.
I love Bishop. I'm
What
going.
was
I'm
that
going
face?
first. I'm going first.
Nice.
I'm going first, so I can just get this out the way. I love my father, trust me, but there are just some tendencies I am not looking for. My father was the baby of his family, and so he has what I call baby tendencies still. And I don't have tolerance for a baby. Um, I mean, my mom, she's the middle child, so they work. She handles to his needs, and he's always there for a need. So, and that's not to say I'm not willing to give to someone, but there's
That's a real thing, though. I mean, you're
there's
Yeah.
that, you know what
that's
I'm saying?
sweet.
Like my
Yeah.
mom, literally, she serves him. He, does all of her house chores and all that stuff. So like, listen, the man's taken care of real well, okay? And so I mean, I admire my mom, and I do have some of those tendencies of the wife, but they're to an extent, okay?
You only go so far. You only go so far, like a little boy.
Listen, okay? But yes, that would be my
What
answer.
about you, Kat?
Um, yes, there are. They are one thing I love about my dad um was now I'm just gonna say I'm not a gold digger, right? Well, I'm messing no bro.
Come on, Kawana. Come on, Kawana. He quotes. You better quote Kanye.
Like I said, my dad was very supportive. So he would come home and he will give my mom his check for her to pay all the bills.
Well,
Um, and that's a quality that I would love in a man to be able to say, babe, here's you pay the bills with this, and you can keep that for
aw.
yourself. I know I may not get that, but but that is to me that is a good quality in a man to make sure his household is secure. Um,
I
Another
agree.
thing my dad would do, he will talk about me so bad though. You don't know nothing about no car. You know, and he will come and he will take my car today. If he was to come here and my car need an oil change, he'll take it and go get an oil change.
Oh, I
He
love
makes
it.
sure if there's no food, there's food in the refrigerator. So those are qualities that I will love in a man, just a supporting, caring man who is going to make sure his household come first, no matter
For
what.
sure. And I second that. My father never. I mean, we never went without of anything. And he definitely showed what a provider should be. So
Yeah.
my sister stayed in his pockets while she's online tonight talking about me. So I'm gonna let her out.
Yeah.
Sis, love you.
You know, and another
Show
thing,
put you on blast.
Listen,
right.
and
She
you see I
did.
didn't share the comments, huh?
Right. And what's another thing that you my dad was a loving and caring man because he would, if people, he loved children.
Facts.
And so if he seen a kid that was without, he made sure he took care of them. He
Aw.
my oldest sister, I believe it, my two oldest siblings, he adopted them when he married my mom. So um good man, good man.
Oh, I love it. I admire that. I think that is amazing for a man to just take in somebody. I mean, it's not their own, but they're willing to be a true
Yeah.
man as if they were. I think that
Mhm.
is totally amazing. Amazing, amazing.
Now, what
Um,
he did back when he was younger, I don't know,
okay, stay on the positive note, huh? Stay on the positive note,
We
okay?
are talking positive things.
Okay, Joe. Obviously, we know that as you had shared, you were raised in a single parent home. Your mom played both hats in a sense. So, but any male figures in your life that you admire or that you would send your daughters to for maybe that male advice.
listen,
Well,
Missy. Well,
I forgot my teacup tonight. Can't sip on that.
Honestly, growing up, you know, I had my first child at the age of 16. So
Hmm.
I was still learning, I was still growing up myself.
mhm,
And being raised by a single mother and without a father, I didn't know what I was missing myself, what I needed. Um, and I, at the age of that I am now, I am just now learning that, now. Not I'm just now learning that personally, you
Mm,
know, what I was missing.
mhm.
And it's not a sad story or anything,
right.
but there are thoughts and things that, like, maybe I wonder if I would have did this differently, and if how my life would have possibly changed or turned out if I possibly would have had um my father in my life. But I will say that I did have um a strong father figure in my life. Bishop Howe, he has always been my a father figure to me, and I've
Amen.
always told him that. Um, and to this day, I still see him as a father figure. Um, that's who that's who I've seen. You know,
Mhm, mhm.
um, that's what I've learned on how a man is supposed to treat a woman, how he treats uh his daughter, and just how he treated um the sheep in the church. And I just watched him as being a man. And then also when I got married, being a husband and all that kind of stuff. So when I did have kids, that's the kind of I guess blueprint blueprint that
Yeah.
looking I was pushing them towards, like, pay attention to church. But then you got those other people that you really can't push them to that. You don't want them to follow that blueprint after you learn life. So that's what that face was like.
Facts.
So yeah.
Okay, so that raises a question. This side note. This is a whole side note question, y'all. But does that change the perspective of a father? After we've gotten older and we've maybe understood some things, and they're like, "Hang on, that wasn't right, or that shouldn't have been that way." Does that change your perspective of who and what they could have been to you?
What do you mean?
In the sense of, okay, as a child, you're innocent. You just think this person is the best thing since sliced bread, right? Like, amazing. But then you get older, you hear some things about their life, or you start putting the pieces together. You're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like that's not right. Does that change your perspective of who you thought? Like, once again, you put them on this pedestal, but now you know something different.
You know what? Honestly, I went through that in phases.
That's a good one.
Because when I was younger, I used to hear all the great things about who my dad was and all the great things that he did and how talented he was and and how everybody loved him, how the great personality he was. And then as I got into a certain age, I started hearing about all the other stuff. And then my heart just crushed. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then it didn't change how I felt about him, but it was like, what the heck, man? But then,
I'm sorry.
I like the way you just did
that. That's a real
man. But then, I started going through life myself, and then it made me sit back and was like, this man was human, and he went through life and he lived his life. He felt he had needs. He did this and he did that, and he was trying to do the best. He was trying to live his life the best way that he knew how. And I felt that way. I know this is about the fathers and stuff like that, but I felt that way about my mom too. Like, no, she didn't have all the answers. No, he didn't have all the answers. No, he was not perfect. Nobody is. But
I like that. No one is. And I actually like that question because it literally make you think about the way you see people, right? And then the older you get, you're like, oh wow, did I really give that person a chance? Was I really open-minded to see the person for who they are? And I think that, like you just said, Joe, we go based off what people tell us or how that person is, but we don't really know who that person is until we actually get a chance to interact with the person and know them for ourselves. And I would say this, my dad was absent in my life from probably when I was like 5. I felt like he was absent because my parents went through a divorce until the age of 12. And when he came back around 12 or 13, I was angry with him. And I did not like him. Now, from 12 to 19, I would say 12 to 19, this man was trying to be this everything for me. And I'm looking at him like he's the dirt on the bottom of my shoes.
Facts.
Right? But once I realized who he was, once I realized to get to know truly who he is and love him for who he is, that's when I was able to appreciate him more. And let me just tell you, it was at the age of 20 when I lost my mom. And I was like almost 30 years old when I was able to really, truly appreciate who my dad was, how much he loved my mom, who he was to my siblings. Because I was jealous because my siblings had him mostly all their lives. And so here I am and I get a little piece. I didn't get that. Oh, I wake up and fix my dad coffee. Oh, I can take him, he's going on a field trip with me. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
And they got all that. They got the trips. They got all of that. I didn't get that. So I was angry for a very long time. But now that I know my dad and I accept him for who he is, the man is a great man. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this: we can have our dads in our life, but sometimes we don't even appreciate the fact that they're in our lives.
Wow, you said
Say it for the people in the back.
Right there, right there, right there. And can I say something on that? Because you got people who are like, my dad didn't do this, or my dad didn't do that, or how come my dad don't act like your dad, or my dad. You know what? Be grateful that he's even there.
Come on now, that right there. Just be grateful.
Be grateful. I sat up here and I didn't have a dad for 40 something years.
Facts.
And I sit here and wonder what type of relationship I would have had with my dad. I would give anything to know what type of relationship I would have. I would give anything to know what it felt like to touch him.
That's good.
You know
Come
what
on
I mean?
now.
That's
and you worried about that because he didn't do this and that for you?
Did they buy you that Coach purse? Huh?
Right. Come on.
No, that's real. And I think that's the reason why I want to ask that question, because I think I'm sure there's tons of viewers that have different perspectives as well in their lives, whether they didn't have a father or their father wasn't as predominant as they probably could have been, or some of us who did have fathers, whatever the case may be. But regardless, sometimes our perspectives change when we find out things or when people get in our ear. But I love what you said, Kwana. When you get to know them for yourself and you really develop your own relationship with them and you make that determination, that's what matters. Then therefore you can judge them righteously. Come on, preacher. Okay. So and I have the opposite issue, which like I said, my father was always giving and always willing to help people. So we ended up adopting half of the church as siblings. Somebody's a daughter, somebody, and I'm like, hello, you got kids. You don't need nobody else. It's hard sometimes to share, and you're barely getting that time. And so it was in my preteens, like, I don't know if I like this, they're constantly, my parents were in ministry constantly, and here we are as the children just having to sit back and deal with it. And then me being the oldest, I sometimes had to take the responsibility while they were, off sometimes and doing ministry. And that's a hard burden, to carry at a young age, and you're frustrated and you're trying to figure out life and all these different things. And I told my sister the other day, I said, to be honest, a lot of people, like question me why I moved from home and so forth. But sometimes it was honestly, it was for the sake of my parents and I's relationship, because it becomes a blurred line sometimes for us PKs, where we can't separate family and church. It's all one. And they may try to do their best to do that, but personally for me, like, this has nothing to do with them, so don't come for them, anybody. But as for me, that's what I felt like I had to do, because that's what I needed in my life in this season, in this moment. And I knew obviously God was directing me in other places too, but it can be hard either way, whether you don't have a father in your life and you're trying to find your identity and you see all these people with one and you're like, stop tripping. But sometimes the big issue is they may be here, but they're not here. So we're all both in the same boat. We're missing something. Which leads me to my next question.
Wow. Go ahead, Pastor.
So, as an adult, do you see God molding you as our Father, God? Do you see Him molding you when you were a child? Do you see Him his hand being upon you as you were growing up as the father of God?
Definitely. I definitely saw that he had his hand all in my life. And even though that I did grow up fatherless, I was not fatherless.
Amen.
And he he definitely was guiding me and still is guiding me and has covered me and leading me, um, teaching me, whooping me. He was really there, and he would send people to give me fatherly advice.
That
You know,
part.
even if I didn't see that person as a father figure, I wasn't aware that they were giving me fatherly advice.
Mm.
Um, and There's just the hedge of protection that I would have that a father would give a daughter. I would have that,
Mm.
even through like church members, like Billups, Elder Billups.
Yes.
They were on it. They were like always really protective over me and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you protecting me? But it was like a father. It was, you know, it was like that's what I would get. I would get that a lot, and it was weird to me. But I see it now. I see what it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, and I can tell that it was guidance on where to get me to where I am today and even further. So yes, definitely.
Okay, Kat, how you feel?
Yes, I'm definitely going to say yes. I think I fell in love with Jesus a lot when I was very young, but and I say this because when I was I used to go to Catholic school. Don't laugh at me, all right? It's because I'm going to make it funny a little bit. When I used to go to Catholic school, I used to like the nuns' outfits,
Come on, Kawana.
and I used to think that they were so, And when they used to tell us the stories, I used to be like, I want to be a nun. I want to just give it all up, and I want to be a nun. I want to be a nun, and
Oh, oh wow,
I
okay.
I did.
I can see that.
Can you, Joe? Can
I truly wanted to be a
you?
nun, and I was so fascinated by the way of their living, their lifestyle, and just honoring
Wow.
God. And I think when I turned 12 and 13, that's that the world I got
Oh,
caught
you
on to the
found
world.
out what it took, huh?
Right. You got those sacrifices that you can't have no boyfriend. You can't so
Right. Those hormones got to
the
go, huh?
hormones got to kick in. In reality, snuck right in and pushed me away from that. But God has been truly the love of my life ever since I could imagine. Just fascinated about the stories, the Bible, and just being in awe of the miracles you used to hear about when you used to go to school, and um, just admiring my mom and watching her walk and how she was able to do so much with so little. And then I I can honestly remember my aunt. She used to always talk about how, she kept a smile on her face and it was nothing but the Lord. And some of those things I used to be so like attracted to. I was so attracted to those things. So yes, yes. So yes, God has been molding me ever since. And here I am, right? Even though I ran,
There
but
you
here
are.
I am.
She
Here I
said
am.
yes, y'all. She finally said yes. Huh? So to answer
Oh,
this question, it's really funny because I actually have my father to thank for this. My natural father.
Amen.
So if it wasn't for his zealousness and hunger for the word of the Lord, I probably wouldn't have seen the hand of God on my life. Um, he used to make me sit down and watch these preaching videos. Back in the day, they used to be on VHS all the time.
Oh my goodness.
And the funny thing is that he watched a lot of women preachers, like Jackie McCullen, Iona Lott, just to name a few, and some other preachers. And so, as I'm sitting there listening, having no idea what they're saying, but and then I'm asking my dad questions, and then I started to get into Sunday school, and I've just always had this desire and a love for God's word and wanting to know more. And then lo and behold, here I am being called by the Lord for
Mhm.
for his time and call. So um I definitely believe God was molding me. He gave me the right parents, even though we're not, as we have all said, even though our parents have not been perfect, but they've been perfect for us,
Yes.
through the tough times, through the hard times. It's truly the love of God that's kept us all together, right? And
Amen.
so, yeah, I definitely would agree as well that the Lord has kept us. So.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. What effects do you have the most about not having or having him maybe as much? I didn't even say that right, but you got that. But you know what I was trying to say, Liz.
Yes. I am.
Wait, and I'm still like,
Like what? Can you say that in English, please?
It is mundane for us, y'all. We are struggling. Pray for us, okay? But this is
please pray for
this
us.
is raw and uncut tonight. I ain't even gonna lie to you, okay? But what
Because
effects do we have the most at not having a dad or not having him as much? So I think we have all kind of answered that. What how has that affected us in our adult life or in our process of growing up? And I would say it taught me to have my own personal relationship with God. And surprisingly, most PKs rebel, but it actually drew me closer to the Lord in so many ways. So um, I think it also taught me um, the things that my dad didn't have. God could give me, in whether it was in other people, like you said, Joe. God will send saints of God, real saints of God who care about you, and will give you that love, or um, just having that, like I said, that personal relationship with God, and He just teaching you and allowing you to feel it through His Spirit. So, what about you, Kat? How do you feel?
So repeat that question one more time because I think I got the answer, but I'm just trying to make sure I
I know
answered
it's
it
Monday
correct.
in for you.
confused you. I'm sorry.
What effect do you have? What affected you the most having your dad part time? Let's say it that way. Um, as you are adulting and through your adolescence, what were some effects?
Um, Not being secure with who I was.
Come on, talk about it.
That's good.
And now my dad, he said something to me not too long ago, and it helped me shut down a lot of doubt of myself. And he said, "Stop, stop, stop running when you know you got it." And I said, "What?"
Wow.
It was something about that "stop, you got it" that goes so far. Now, if he would have said those things to me when I was younger,
Mm,
it would have been just a little different, right? I probably wouldn't have been looking for trying to fill that void that I had.
Mm. Kwana, you hitting on something tonight. Come on, sis.
So some of my insecurity was based on the relationship that I had with my father.
That's good.
But you know, when you have God in your life, there's standards. And I was able to teach myself how to set those standards.
That's
Not
good.
only set those standards, but my mom showed me how to set standards. My brothers showed me how to set standards. So even though my dad wasn't there all the time, my brothers actually picked up some of the slack and was able to support us and inform us and give us certain things. But it's still that little piece that we miss because, you know, that confidence, I don't care what anybody says, that confidence is major, right? And so it's something different about when your dad said you're beautiful. It's
Girl,
something different
say it again.
about when they say you stupid, but your dad says you smarter than anybody I know.
Listen.
It's just something about that where your chest pump up and you like, all right, you know, and that's just like our spiritual father. When we get that relationship with Christ, it's something about that relationship that boosts us up and give us that confidence that we need. So I truly think that's what fathers are for when it comes to their daughters and their boys. I'm just saying, you know,
Aww.
all kids need that confidence.
Yeah. No, before you answer, Joel, you hit on something because I truly believe that, you know, majority, 99% of the women out here in this world deal with low self-esteem. Let's just be honest. And a lot of that has to deal with, like you just said, those words of life from our fathers. I think when a man tells you something, because let's go back to dating and finding those intimate relationships. As soon as that man tells you you're beautiful or says something that you feel that fills that void, oh, you think he the one?
We melt, right?
So can I intervene? Can I intervene?
Come on, intervene, sis.
Okay. Okay. So since I grew up without a father,
facts.
I am witness to that. And I can agree with Kat when she says like confidence. I did like confidence, and I can still say that I battle with that every now and then. It's definitely not as bad as it used to be. Insecurity and low self-esteem. Insecurity is not as really bad, but you know, low self-esteem was really bad when I was younger. And for somebody to tell me that I was beautiful or, you know, pretty and all this kind of stuff, I was like, these people can't see.
Stop, Joe. I can't.
No, Joe, did you say they can't see, Joe?
And then to make it worse, all the guys who I used to date when I was younger, they all wore glasses.
So you blame it on the glasses? You blame
now that I think about it, they still do. Wait, now that I think about it, they still do. So I used to blame it on the glasses. Like, these people can't see.
Joe, I'm not finna. Okay, wait a minute.
I'm done, Joe.
We need a 5 minute because this
Joe can't see. And I used to tell them that, like, y'all can't see. But no, seriously, but it was when I got
get your eyes checked. I'm dead. Sorry, Joe took us out, y'all, on that one. Oh my gosh.
No, but I did have like male cousins and stuff like that who used to tell me, and then they installed this in me. They were like, and I think this is why I'm today who I am. Like, you don't need makeup on. You're beautiful without it, and da 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 da. And I'd be like, seeing all these other women, they got all this makeup on and all these this, that, and the other, but they did install that in me. And you get it? Don't grant it. I will wear makeup, so I'm not against it. But you know, they installed that in me.
It defined you, yeah.
Yes, so you know, I got that part. But then when I got to church, it was during altar call, that it was spoke over me, the low self-esteem, you know. They was like, I speak against the low self-esteem. And I didn't even realize that I had it until that day, that moment.
Wow.
And then there was a best friend of mine, and she was like, "You don't think you're pretty?" And I'm like, "No, girl." And then she asked her brothers, two of them at the same time, "Y'all think Jonisha's pretty?" And they was like, "Man, Jonisha fine."
Come on and get the confirmation. Come on. Yes.
Well, yeah, but it really is. And then raising three girls and their fathers not being as present as they should. I saw in my oldest daughter, when she was like a toddler or like three or four, any man that would show her some type of attention, she would gravitate and she would light up like she wanted that attention. And it crushed me because she wanted that male attention. I know, right, Ace?
Sorry, it's our tea time dog, everybody. It's fine.
But she wanted that male attention, and it just crushed me. Like the women, the girls, they need their dad. They need him, you know. And I don't think that these men, these fathers, they understand at what capacity they need it. So Ace to relax. So yeah. I'm a living witness, and I have three girls, and I've seen it firsthand as a single mother. So yeah,
that's good. That's good. But now you got to answer the question. You didn't get your turn.
Get your turn to answer.
Wait, what's the question again? What effects do you have? I don't know. I mean. I think we should move on to the next question because that one is deep.
Well, I definitely want to say you hit some good you.
I did answer the question. I piggybacked off of what Kat said.
Oh, okay. So about the low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. My bad. I'm a little slow. tonight, y'all.
It's Monday.
It's a true Monday. But I definitely want to say, Joe, today I think a lot of our young girls miss that having that father figure in their life. And I know a lot of people say, the woman can do it. The woman can only do so much as a single parent.
Right.
And if your father is in your life, get to know him, build a relationship with him. And I'm going to say that again, that's for our spiritual father. Build a relationship with him, get to know him, so you can find out who he truly is for yourself. Because once we find out who God is for ourselves, that unconditional love and it's great. It's great. It's just great, right? And that's just like the love of our fathers. Once we get to know our fathers for who they are, the love that they pour out is such an amazing feeling, and it's great. And I tell all the young people that I come across, find out who your father is. He may not have been raised the way you were. The reason he acts like that because maybe he's lacking love. But if you show your father love, if you show him a different way, he will probably be very appreciative of the way you're showing him because you're teaching him something. I think that as kids, we don't think that as parents, our kids can't teach us anything. That's a lie. Our kids can teach us so much.
Big facts.
We just have to be open-minded to receive what they're trying to teach us.
Literally. And that brings up the next question. So I'll just go ahead and ask that is, what struggles did you have adjusting to being God's daughter? Because I think that is a process, especially if we don't have a father in our lives or we are missing some things from our own natural father. God teaches us how to be a daughter. He teaches us how to have that confidence and kills that low self-esteem and gives us that love. I can definitely say it was in my 30s, and this is why I think even young girls are deep passion for me, is because I don't want these young girls finding out later on in life who they are.
Yes.
The fact that I had to find out that I was 30, literally 33 years old, before I realized how valuable, how worthy, how beautiful, even from the inside out, um, I was. And I continued to let the life decisions that I was making and circumstances determine who I was, through all those adolescence and my 20s, right? But God had to teach me to just stop trying to do everything. Like being a daughter, you don't have to do nothing. He will supply your every need. What father doesn't want to supply for his daughter? What father doesn't want to give his daughter the world?
That's right.
What daughter or what father doesn't protect? And he does all that, but it took me to surrender. And I think that was my struggle, was slowly allowing God in those deep places, that the low self-esteem, the unworthiness. I felt that I had to constantly do for God for him to bless me. And he literally told me, he said, stop. You have to do nothing for me. There's nothing you can do. He's already done it all.
Come on now, Liz.
And that took me out, y'all. Took me out. Okay.
You know what? All these years, I've always heard God the Father, He's your Father, He's my Father. And I've said that He's my Father, He's my Father. But literally within the last, let's say, 4, maybe 5 months, is when it hit me.
Come on.
That
I'm His daughter.
His daughter.
Did it knock you out?
Look, I'm trying not to cry, you guys.
Listen, I'm crying with you.
Just cry. Just go ahead. Let them fall.
I have never said that I am anybody's daughter before.
Wow.
That hits so different.
Ooh.
Because it's a different position.
Yes.
It's a different role. It's a different entitlement. You know what I mean? It's a different, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're just entitled to so much more. Like, somebody can't just come into my house and say, I live here, any random person, but my daughter can.
Right.
I have that same entitlement to the kingdom of God.
Shut up.
Yes.
Girl. Come on.
Yes.
What?
Listen.
He loves me enough to call me his daughter?
Come on.
Call me his daughter. Listen. I feel like that's a drop the mic moment. Okay, Kawana.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this. I never knew a love like this. I never knew a love like this. It changes the whole atmosphere.
Oh, Jesus.
It changes your walk. It changes your, first of all, let me just say, it takes your blinders off, because we have our blinders on. But when God love shows up in your life, I didn't say it better than I said it on Saturday. Jesus, what you want me to do? I'll run over here. Jesus, what do you need me to go? I'll go over there. What do you need from me? Because your love has changed my life.
Aw.
It changed my life. And the fact that when you were calling me, I didn't answer the door. When you was pulling on me, I didn't reach out. I did
Woo.
not. But you waited. Here's my favorite
You
part.
did
You waited.
Waited.
for me.
You waited just
Waited.
for me.
Whew.
Didn't matter how long it took me to get there, but you waited just for me. You came and you got me in the thick of it all. You came and you rescued me. Jesus,
Jesus.
me. Everything else was going on in the world, but you said, let me pause. Kawana, let's go. Baby, baby,
Listen, Kawana, you about to start something tonight.
Jesus.
Stop.
Woo! There she goes starting fires again.
Listen, and
Waited.
he waited for me, and
He
how he
waited
makes it
for
so
me.
personal. He makes it so personal.
Yes,
Oh my God.
Ain't nobody else had this moment but you, okay?
but me. But me. It could be 100,000 people standing around, but it's just for you. That moment is just for you, nobody else. And that's all I got to say. I don't got nothing else to say.
Listen, if you ain't never experienced God as your father, let us be a witness here tonight. And I think it goes both ways, whether you're a son or you're a daughter.
Correct.
There is something about the love of the father
Ooh,
that
Jesus.
does not compare to any man or woman out here, and will cover all of your traumas, your
Oh,
mishaps, your
Come on.
rejections, your failures, your insecurities, your shortcomings, your
yes.
weaknesses, all of it. I promise you. I mean, we are definitely witnesses coming from three different areas of life,
Oh,
having our three different areas of traumas. All of that, what God can do, what kind of father he is, and that really is what we wanted to share tonight, was the love of the father. We are daddy's girls, we are daddy's sons, for those who are watching.
yes. Yes.
We belong to the father, and there's nothing that our father won't do for us. I don't care how ugly this world gets, I don't care how bad the economy gets. God will take care of his, but
Woo.
you gotta put your whole heart into it. You
That's
gotta
right.
give him everything. And
Everything.
that is where we sometimes need to take the self inventory. Have we given God everything? Have
That's right.
you? And so I challenge you this month, in this month of Father's Day, is to really take the time to surrender your whole heart, even if you got to rededicate yourself to the King, to the Father.
Yes.
Find that love again. Find a deeper love for God again. And I admire Joe for just saying, like, just in the last few months she
Yes.
relaxed, and I too had to be reminded. And that's why I was so excited to talk about this tonight, because it just so happened that God had to remind me. He says, regardless of what comes against us as women in the world, the world wants us to be these, I hate to say it, these hoes, these
Come on.
crazy women who are just money greedy type of angry women. And we are
That's
not.
right.
We are God's daughters, and God does not design his daughters to be women of the night. He does
Come
not
on now.
design his daughters to be greedy and to seek and manipulate people, but he has
That's right.
designed his daughters to love, to be kind just like him, to be gentle, to be able to speak life, to nurture life.
Yes.
He's given us
Yes.
all wombs. He trusts us with life, to carry life, to carry life.
Jesus.
But we got to open our womb back up to God. We have to open our heart back to God
That's right.
and give him everything. So I challenge you in this month to take a moment to dedicate your heart again to the Father. Dedicate yourself to God. Find out, God, how can I become deeper with you? How can I how can we rekindle this relationship,
Yes.
father, son, daughter, whatever the case may be. But I do want to challenge you on that. Ladies, I don't think we're gonna get to our last question.
No, no.
We'll save that
That's
for another
okay.
tea time.
That's okay.
Because
God
this,
will
this
wait
took a
for
shift, and that's okay with me too.
Yes, it's okay. That's a
But
great
as
thing.
we close tonight, I already said my 2 cents in advice. But any last words for our viewers, ladies, before we close tonight?
I think I'm just going to say, I think you summed it up, Liz, but I would definitely say if you have a void in your life, not even in your life, but in your heart, allow God to fill it with his love. Like Liz said, step out on faith and let God do the mending of the heart for you. And everything will come together.
It will. It will. I love it. I love it, Joe.
Um, as you mentioned, this is the month of June. So the month we celebrate fathers. Get to know them. If you don't know him, get closer to him. He is
Facts.
the father of all
I'll
fathers.
listen.
Build a relationship with him. If you
Yes.
don't have a relationship with your regular father and you're not ready to build a relationship with your regular father, that's okay. At least build one with our heavenly father, because he will teach
Facts.
you how
Facts.
to build a relationship with your regular father if that's what you want. And if not, then God will fill that void.
Literally.
Yes, come on.
Literally.
Void.
Literally.
So
Literally. I love it. Well, y'all, I hope you were encouraged tonight. Hope you had some laughs, some cries, some uplifting words. Once again of life. I definitely want to shout out my big brother, my friend, Dr. Kane. Amen. He is here tonight, tuning in, and we say happy birthday to you.
Happy
For
birthday.
God gonna give you 55 years of life. No way, I cannot believe it. But that is a blessing, and we say happy birthday to you here on Tea Time with Liz and Friends. So until next time, our next episode will be June 17th. We will have a special guest, and we will be talking about um, finding out who your identity is. So stay tuned for that. I think I slaughtered that too. But anyway,
identify yourself.
because I seen Joe's face.
I
Stay tuned. Just stay tuned. All right, we love you all, and share this episode with someone that they may be encouraged through our words of encouragement. All right, we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
did.